Joe Burrow leaves today's game with a left foot and toe injury. Welcome to today's video. My name is Dr. Stephen Wilson, and on this channel we analyze the science of sports injuries. So if that's the type of content that interests you, then please consider liking and subscribing to this channel. On this play here, Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow is injured on the play. We're taking a look at his left foot. He is in the pocket. The pocket's collapsing around number 9 here. Burrow, the quarterback. We're taking a look at his left leg. Particularly his left foot. So as he gets tackled around his right foot, he goes down to the ground. We're watching his lower left leg as his cleat of his left foot digs forcefully into the turf. As Burrow goes to the ground, we can see his left big toe, his great toe, the front of his foot really digging hard into that turf. And then as he goes down, we can see how finally the spikes or the lugs on his cleat, they actually kind of give way a little bit there, and then we can see his foot going from a dorsiflex position into a neutral, then into a plantar flex with his toes pointed. So in this position, that's going to place a lot of stress on certain parts of Joe Burrow's left foot, mainly his left big toe, and there's a lot of connective tissue that connects the toe, those toe bones together into the foot, and that's what's being stressed in this play. The mechanical burden on that type of his foot is certainly, it is considerable here, enough to cause an injury, and Burrow was reported to be having an MRI at halftime as a result of this foot injury. Specifically, we're looking at the hyperextension of his great toe. We talk about dorsiflexion with his entire foot coming up towards his knee, and that's the same for his big toe. When his big toe comes up, it goes into a position called flexion, as opposed to when you curl your toes down into a plantar flexed position with your toes straight, such as this position right here, plantar flexion. And here we have dorsiflexion with extension of his great toe. That hyperextension, that forceful push, pushing the joints of his great toe beyond his normal, we define it as his normal physiological range of motion. When you push a joint past that range, that end range, that is going to start to stretch and strain and sprain the soft tissue, the ligamentous and the tendon structures of the foot and big toe. Further to that point, if we look at the anatomy screen, we're taking a look at the left leg. We'll kind of move it around here so we can take a look at the left foot and the great toe a little bit better. We'll put it right in the center of the screen here. Now remember, when Burrows was tackled, his foot was bent up into a dorsiflex position, taking his great toe and bending it and curling it in this direction into an extension or a hyperextended position. That is going to stress the joints and the soft tissue connections of his great toe into his metatarsal bones, into his foot. When that happens, we can define that as a hyperextension injury or even a turf toe injury. To the extreme, this can result in intra-articular or a joint fracture. Most likely it is more of a sprain or a strain of his foot. That's what we're hoping for. We are not hoping for the worst case scenario here being a fracture. The MRI would show that. A turf toe is traditionally, more commonly, the soft tissue ligamentous injury of taking the great toe into a hyperextended position beyond its normal physiological range of motion, stressing and stretching those soft tissue supporting structures. At the time of this recording, we don't have a definitive diagnosis from the team, but this is what we're seeing on the video replay in regards to Joe Burrow's injured great left toe. Thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate your time. Please be well.